Hello everyone, welcome to the Financial Information channel. In this video, I'm going to mention some companies that have reported earnings on August 7, 8, and 9. And before we start with the video, I'm going to mention some of the things that I have done during the last few days. Now let's start with the video. And the first thing that I'm going to mention is that I sold all my position in Nucor because it hasn't given me anything this year. And in addition, I think it's not going to move as much for the rest of the year, so it didn't make sense to have that money invested in that company. And I'm gonna mention Nucor on that upcoming video that is coming up in the next few days. And one of the reasons why I sold shares in that company, I wanted to have more cash in my account because I started to do more research on each month. During August from 86 to 2016, the month has given a return of negative 0.75%. Now it is the second worst month during the year. Only September has given a worse return during the last 30 years. And during September from 1986 to 2016, the stock market has given a return of negative 0.79%. So if you see the stock market not performing really well, now you get an idea how in the past 30 years the stock market hasn't done that much during those 2 months. I still think even if you start investing during August or September and you end up having a loss, I think investing presents a really good opportunity for you to grow the money over the years, which is the most important thing in my opinion. Now with that out of the way, let's start with the company earnings. And the first company that reported earnings was Twilio. Now Twilio actually had good earnings. They beat the EPS by 6 cents and the revenue by 9.63 million, and the revenue year-to-year growth is 48.6%. And this is a technology company that I was mentioned that needed to have a really strong numbers, and I think during the last quarter they actually moved down around 25 to 30% after the reported earnings. So this actually presented an opportunity because the numbers from last quarter weren't that bad. However, they needed to have a strong guidance, and that's what the company did. And the company moved over 10% over the last few days, which is awesome. Now we're gonna go to the next company, and the next company is Walt Disney, and a lot of people were anxious to see the numbers. And Disney actually had missed earnings. I'm gonna go over. They actually beat the EPS. They beat the EPS by 3 cents, and the company missed the revenue by 180 millions. The revenue year-to-year growth is negative 0.3%. The company is very efficient of managing the money, so that wasn't a big deal to me. Now for the revenue, we're gonna look at the numbers, and we're gonna look at the revenue by segments. The media networks was down 1%. The parks and resorts was up 12%, which is awesome. The studio entertainment was down 16%, which is actually a really huge number if you think about it. And the consumer products was down 5%. That's on the revenue side. And now we're gonna look at the operating income by segments. The media networks, which is related to the ESPN, was down 22%. However, in the parks and resorts, it was up 18%. The studio entertainment, which is related to making movies, was down 17%, and the consumer products was up 12%. But the big news is that Disney plans to have their own streaming service, so they will put all the movies and shows from Netflix so they can actually stream on their own service. So that is actually a good deal for Disney. For the long term, this company should be really fine. However, during the short term, I don't see this service to be really attractive, especially during the first few months. What I found really interesting is that the CEO by Disney said that he doesn't plan to bring the Lucasfilm and the Marvel content to the new platform. Now, keep in mind, this was a good move. However, you gotta take into account we have so many services. We have Amazon, we have HBO, we have Netflix. So I would be interested to see how these services is gonna perform along with those others. In addition, they said they plan to have ESPN to have those streaming services. Now, when it comes to sports, it's a little bit tricky because you have to see those events live. When you see a game on a replay, it doesn't have the same value. Now, I was hoping for Disney to go over $100 because at that price, it would present a really good value. However, at this price, the company presents a good value, but keep in mind this company has been trading sideways for the last 18 months. I would keep an eye on the next few quarters because if that announcement pays off, this company is gonna go up really high. And the next company that announces earnings was Hudson Technologies. Now Hudson has been dropping a huge amount during the last few weeks. However, they beat the EPS and revenue. The company beat the EPS by 4 cents and the revenue by 5.89 millions, and the revenue year-to-year growth is 51%. And the company was going up really a huge amount. I think ended up over 10% for the day. And this stock was under the top 5 stocks under $10. However, the company hasn't done that well in the last few weeks. During this earnings, hopefully the company reverses and starts heading higher. Now, the next company to report earnings was the company that is located in China related to video games. And that company is NetEase. NetEase beat the EPS and revenue. NetEase beat the EPS by 4 cents and the revenue by 70 millions. The revenue year-to-year growth is negative 1.9%. Now, this company started to go down during the earnings. However, it reversed during the day and started heading higher. And that is what happened to the next two companies. The first one is Sina. Now, Sina beat the EPS and revenue. Now, Sina beat the EPS by 13 cents and the revenue by 17.19 millions. The revenue year-to-year growth is 47.6%. And this company posted really good earnings, and the next company actually did the same, and that was Weibo. And Weibo beat the EPS and revenue. Weibo beat the EPS by 2 cents and the revenue by 6.65 millions. The revenue year-to-year growth is 72.5%. And this company actually dropped a huge amount after the earnings, but now it has recovered, and that happened during the last few hours. The company is back to the price that it had before, which is around $86. And I'm actually impressed with the company. The revenue year-to-year growth is over 70%. And one of the companies that I forgot to mention is Priceline. And Priceline is one of the companies that is almost $2,000 for each share. Now, the company beat the EPS. The company beat the EPS by 94 cents and the revenue by 30 millions. And the revenue year-to-year growth is 18%. And the company posted bad guidance. So that is one of the reasons why the company dropped down. And a lot of people, including me, I think this company is gonna go over 2,000 in the next few months. And that is gonna be everything for the video. On Thursday, we have Nvidia, Snapchat that are gonna report, along with many retailers. And those retailers are gonna be Macy's, Kohl's, and Nordstrom. I'm gonna ask you down below if you think at this price, Disney is actually a really good investment for the short term. Because I think for the long term, I think this company should be fine. And I'm gonna thank you once again for watching the video. You can subscribe to the financial information channel. I'm gonna continue bringing videos about the stock market, personal finance, and how to make money online. Have an excellent day and take care, my friends.